We are here today with Josée Lusignan, the president and founder of I Love First Peoples. I Love First Peoples bridges communities through reconciliation. She is here today to talk with us about the Fall Shoebox campaign, which is in full swing. Josée, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I was wondering if we could get started by you explaining what the Shoebox campaign is.
The shoebox is called the Friendship Box because it's really about promoting friendship and connection between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people and communities across Canada.
Wonderful. Could you tell us what goes in the shoeboxes? Like, are there different shoeboxes for different age brackets and like what's appropriate to fit in, things like that?
Yeah, so we're inviting people to put in a shoebox basically what they would put if it was their own child that they were packing for.
Okay.
So anything that makes a child happy with a focus on things that are educational, of course. And so our shoebox has, it's gender neutral.
Okay.
And the reason we're gender neutral, there are many reasons, but primarily people have packed overwhelmingly for girls. So we really want to even things out. And so we're inviting people to think perhaps in terms of a theme. So a science box, a literature box, these types of ideas. But basically we have 4 categories of shoebox. There's a youth shoebox for ages 9 to 12 or 13 to 16. And then there's the child shoebox for ages 3 to 5 or 6 to 8.
Okay. I was wondering, could you share some examples of what are some gender appropriate things to go in the shoeboxes?
Yes, absolutely. So things that both a girl and a boy can enjoy. I brought a shoebox today with me, for instance, for a youth. And in that shoebox, you'll find a daily journal with some really nice pens. There's a flashlight. There's a We the North baseball cap. We have some toys in there, like Rubik's Cubes, things that are age appropriate. And of course, a friendship letter. So on our website, we have all of the resources that explain how to pack a shoebox. And one of those resources is a template for letter writing. And really, when the youth and the children receive a shoebox, the magic in the shoebox is that friendship letter. And so we want to make sure that every shoebox has a note of friendship inside.
Thank you. Is there anything that maybe people should know that shouldn't go in a shoebox right now?
Yes, absolutely. So the shoebox or the friendship box is not about sending hygiene items. So we discourage that unless it's really a gift set of some kind. We also, of course, discourage any religious materials from entering the shoebox and anything that could cause harm to a child or youth. So, for instance, razors, which falls into hygiene kits, but to be careful of things like sewing needles, these types of things that can be hazardous to a child.
I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about where the friendship boxes will be going this year and who they're kind of going to.
So we have 27 volunteer chapters across Canada, and our policy really is that boxes collected within a province stay within the province as much as possible. So here in Ontario, the shoe boxes are going in the Sioux Lookout area. We will cover as many communities as we can, depending on the number of shoe boxes that we have. So we are in partnership with North Star Air, and we'll be visiting communities along their flight routes. Most of these communities we've already visited. For instance, this summer we toured the movie Indian Horse in the area. So we already have a list of communities eager and waiting, but it depends on how many shoe boxes we receive.
Okay, perfect. On your website, it talks a lot about how these acts can kind of help start reconciliation. So for people who are new to this or who want to create a friendship box, how is delivering a friendship box part of reconciliation in this country?
I'd like to maybe preamble that by saying that reconciliation for us as an organization is really about providing education and awareness to non-Indigenous people. And so in that sense, a shoebox will never bring clean water to a community, will never change the big issues that need to be addressed. But what it does, it engages the donor in a first act of something that is simple and tangible, where people feel they can actually do something that really does bring joy. I mean, when we distribute those shoe boxes, it is pure magic, and the children love knowing that someone is thinking of them and supporting them. So it engages the donor in a first act toward becoming more educated, and hopefully through their partnership with us, we can bring them down a path of increasing their knowledge.
Wonderful. And this specific campaign does have a cutoff date, right? When is that date?
It's December the 15th.
Okay, but if somebody wanted to donate a friendship box at another point in this year, can they do that as well?
Yes, they can, but they would have to send their shoebox to our home office, which is here in the National Capital Region.
Okay.
We also have an online store where people can pack a shoebox online. They can even include their friendship letter online to go in their shoebox, and they can do that at any time during the year.
Okay. And you do have a drop-off location in the National Capital Region. Where is that drop-off for the friendship boxes?
We're very pleased that the Ontario Native Women's Association is on board. So we have locations with them across Ontario and in Ottawa on McLeod Street.
Wonderful. Josée, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here today.
Thank you so much.
Josée Lusignan is the founder and president of I Love First Peoples. The Friendship Box campaign continues, and boxes can be dropped off at the Ontario Native Women's Association on McLeod Street.